Saint Maximilian Kolbe offered his life for the other just because he loved humanity, he loved his mission. Dearly beloved in Jesus Christ, welcome to today's Gospel Reflection with Father Anand. Today, 14th August 2026, Friday in the 19th week of the Ordinary Time. The Gospel is taken from Gospel of Matthew chapter 19 verses 3 to 12. At the time, Pharisees came up to Jesus and tested him, asking, "Is it lawful to divorce one's wife for any cause?" He answered, "Have ye not read that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female, and said, Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and hold fast his wife, and the two shall become one flesh? So they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined, let not man separate." They said to him, "Why then did Moses command one to give a certificate of divorce and to send her away?" He said to them, "Because of your hardness of heart, Moses allowed you to divorce your wives, but from the beginning it was not so. And I say to you, whoever divorces his wife except for sexual immorality and marries another commits adultery." The disciples said to him, "If such is the case of a man with his wife, it is better not to marry." But he said to them, "Not everyone who can receive this saying, but only those whom it is given. For there are eunuchs who have been so from the birth, and there are eunuchs who have been made eunuchs by men, and there are eunuchs who have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven. Let the one who is able to receive this." The Gospel of the Lord. Dearly beloved in Jesus Christ, Maximilian Kolbe offered his life voluntarily for the purpose of another man. He could do it because he just loved two things. He loved humanity, he loved his mission in Christ. Well, he was a Franciscan priest from Poland who was inspired a lot to do something for Christ and something for everyone. He was a modern saint. Therefore, he was an example for all of us to live for Christ, to live for humanity, for better glory. To make his story very short, he was imprisoned by the Nazi government during the war. When all of them were put in the prison, one of the soldiers escaped from the prison that very night. This infuriated the jailer, and the jailer commanded that 10 of them should be starved to death in the bunker as a punishment, or to curtail the future escape from any of the prisoners. One among the 10 was a man who had his family and wife. And this man started crying and pleading for his life. Though Maximilian Kolbe was not among those 10, he stepped forward and he volunteered himself instead of that crying man. He said, "I will die instead of him." Does this not sound like Jesus saying that I die for every human being? Courageously, he accepted the death, and all 10 of them were put into the bunker to starve and die. During their punishment, all of them were gloomy and lying on the floor because of starvation and dehydration. But till the last day, Maximilian Kolbe was kneeling and praying and encouraging for them to have a happy death. After 2 weeks, almost everyone died except Maximilian Kolbe and 2 more others. And to them, the jailer said, "Inject a poison to kill all 3 of them." When the doctors came to inject the poison, Maximilian Kolbe offered his hands, welcoming Sister Death, a Franciscan spirit. Dear friends, This is an inspirational story for many of us because some of us are not willing to do anything for the sake of others. But here is a man who gave up his life, finding more joy and more meaning in his life. We don't need to give our life for others. At least when someone is in need, are we trying to do something? At least let us not aggravate the pain of others when the others are suffering. If possible, let's try to do something. If not possible, at least pray for them with full heart. God will take care of their needs. So today, let's take some of the qualities of Saint Maximilian Kolbe. Prayer is the strength, humanity is the place of working, and love is the mission, sacrifice is the way. And if we do that, we also will be like Saint Maximilian Kolbe. Secondly, today's gospel is pointed at Jesus to test him. They come and ask him, is it lawful to divorce a wife? They knew the background of it. They knew what was the law of divorce by Moses. Moses clearly mentions, you can divorce your wife giving the certificate of divorce. Now these people come with a cunning mind to find out something wrong from the mouth of Jesus. They come and ask, is it okay to divorce? If Jesus says it is okay to divorce, they may blame him, you are not a good teacher and you are not a good leader. And if you say no, you cannot, then he must be not following the tradition or the Torah which was given by Moses. So in either of the way, they want to find something fault with Jesus and then they ask Jesus. But Jesus, inspired by the divine wisdom and knowledge, gives them a beautiful answer. The purpose of creation of man. When God created them both together for a greater purpose. Imagine the scene and scenario in the Eden garden. Adam and Eve, and both of them were made by God just like one person. And that was the sanctity of God making man and woman together. But now, we make our relationships just a fake ones. We break our relationships for silly reasons. We don't understand why. Therefore, dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, from today's liturgy of the word, let's take two things for our learning. First one, from the life of Saint Maximilian Kolbe, let's try to do something for others when they are in pain. Secondly, let's understand the purpose of the creation of man and woman, and we will make our life more beautiful. May God bless us all. Have a blessed day ahead.